Hey, it's Alexis. So, from today, which is March the 8th, until March the 15th, I'm on spring break from school, so I literally have nothing to do for an entire week. So I thought it could be fun to see if I can finish my entire March TBR in 7 days. So let's quickly go through the books that I'm supposed to be reading for this video. First, we have Spy Family Family Portrait, which is like a little novel of the manga series. So this could probably get done in a day very easily. Then we have In the Weeds by B.K. Borson, which is book 2 in the Lovelight Farm series. And this is just a little contemporary romance. And this one is just over 300 pages, so this could also probably be read in a day. Then we have Swear on This Life by Renee Carlino. And this one is also just over 300 pages, so could also read this in a day. It'd be really cool if I could read like 2 of these in a day. That would be nice. Then we have Scythe by Neil Shusterman, and this one is one of the longer ones, so this is 433 pages. So this one might take a day or two. And then we have Listen for the Lie by Amy Tantera, which I'll be honest, I started the audiobook of this already. 5 chapters in, so not very far. Let's see how far that is in the book. 27 pages. So we're not very far in. So we also have to read this one. Lastly, we have to read The Second Chance Cinema by Thea Weiss. So I think I'm gonna start with this one because, like I said, I already started it. I'm 5 chapters in. So this is probably gonna be the first book that we do. And then, I don't know. I feel like we should do the thriller and then like a romance like this. And then maybe The Second Chance Cinema and then Scythe. And then do this one last. And then just throw this in on a random day. I don't know, because I feel like I can get this done. Maybe I can read this today. It's already like 5:30 p.m., but my spring break technically started today, so I could go ahead and just knock this one out real quick. Maybe we'll do that. Sounds like a good idea. Let's go start Spy Family Family Portrait and get this out of the way so that we can worry about the other 5 books. Okay guys, I just finished Spy Family Family Portrait, and I'm giving this a 2.5 star. This was a collection of little short stories in here. It's like 4 of them. They're considered missions. Okay, mission number 2. I was looking at the reviews after I finished it, and everyone was saying that mission number 2 was their favorite, but it was literally making me super uncomfortable. So it was about Yuri, who is yours. Their names are so similar. Anyway, Yours, the wife in this book, so she's like the little girl's mom. But it was about her brother, and he's like spending the day with the little girl because he's like babysitting. Please tell me why this man is obsessed with his sister. He is like super infatuated with her to the point where it's disgusting me. Let me read you a quote. You guys need to hear this. He has a picture of his sister on his dresser. First of all, that's really weird. I have 3 sisters, don't have a picture of them hanging up in my house or on my dresser because it's just weird. Anyway, it says, he saw the pictures displayed on his dresser. His sister smiled back at him. He flushed at the sight of her. She was so beautiful that Aphrodite herself would pale in comparison. What? And then, wow, you're so adorable today. I've got to be the luckiest man in the world for having the cutest, kindest sister. That's your sister. You even said she was your sister. It weirded me out. So I was not having fun reading this. I'm just gonna stick to the manga. He's weird in the manga, but he's not this bad. So now it's time to start our next book for this video. And I know that I said that I was gonna read this one first because I had already started it, but listen, it's like 8:30, 9 p.m., something like that right now. I'm not about to read this before I go to bed tonight. So I need to pick one of these other books because I don't want to be scared. I'm a big scaredy cat and I don't want to be scared going to sleep. So I'm thinking it's going to be between one of these 3. I think we're going to go with The Second Chance Cinema by Thea Weiss. So this is going to be the next book that we read in this video. So from the synopsis, it says, an engaged couple discovers a magical movie theater that challenges what they know about themselves and each other. I don't know, but I'm intrigued. And I've heard good things about this, so it makes me excited. So this is going to be book number 2. So I will definitely be finishing it tomorrow, but this is definitely one that we are going to start tonight. So let's go get started on book number 2 from March's TBR. Okay, I was trying to wait until I was 50% through this book to give an update, but I'm currently on page 64, like literally in the middle of a chapter, and I just have to say, I don't know how I'm feeling about this. I love the premise. It's just really, really cool, and like the concept and like how it's like starting to happen. I love this, but I will say the 2 main characters, Ellie and Drake. I keep wanting to call him Devin. I don't know why. Ellie and Drake, they don't really feel like they're a good fit for each other. It feels like they're both like in totally different places of their lives, but they're like engaged to be married, but they're lying to each other. I mean, like if you're about to marry somebody, you'd want to tell them the truth about who you are in your life and stuff, but they're lying like about even the simplest things. It feels like both characters are shallow, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So in this cinema that they found, it's showing the story of you and it only plays for you. So like they went there the first night and it was showing them as babies, like showed both of them as babies, and like some memories that they didn't know that they had, but apparently they do. That's what this cinema shows. And now Drake is all like, well, what if one of the memories that pops up is you having intercourse with another person and you actually like loving that person? That's gonna hurt me. And she's like, you don't have anything to worry about. And he's like, okay, but what if I did? And she's like, are you saying that you had a big love before me? And he changed the subject immediately. So red flag. And then when they got home that night, he said, you are my one big love story, and just went in the house. And she's saying that he's lying now. And I also feel like he's lying, but I also feel like she's lying. She wants to go back to this theater. He doesn't. He doesn't want to go back because he doesn't want to see any more memories. But she wants to go back because there's something in her past that she forgot about that she's hoping this will help her remember. But she won't tell him about it. So I feel like she's also lying, and I feel like he's lying, and I feel like they're just not right for each other and they should not be engaged. But like I said, I'm 64 pages in. We still have all of this left to go. And I just don't even know if I'm liking this book because the main characters are just both so insufferable and unlikable that I'm not having the best time reading this. I'm gonna keep going because I'm kind of intrigued to see what happens, but I feel like everything's about to explode. I don't know if they're going to get married by the end of this book, because what if they're both saying, oh, you're going to see something in these memories that you're not going to like, and then they call off the wedding? You know what I mean? That's how I'm feeling right now. So it's giving me a little bit of anxiety, but I'm going to continue, see what happens. But as of right now, I don't think I'm having the best time reading this, if we're being completely honest. And that makes me really, really sad because I was really excited for this book. But we'll continue and see what happens. Okay, so I'm halfway through The Second Chance Cinema by Thea Weiss. I really don't know my thoughts and feelings on this book. I still feel like the 2 characters should not be getting married. They don't belong together. I don't know. I'm really not having a good time with this book. I'm literally considering DNFing it. I don't want to. I'm tired of DNFing books, but that's where I'm at right now. So I'm going to take a break from this for a little bit and play this casino game that Matt and I play, because you have to get on every day and do daily tasks. So that's what I'm gonna do. So while I'm doing that, so I will be listening to the audiobook of Listen for the Lie. It looks like I am 41% of the way through this book. So maybe we can get a chunk of this done. I'll have to turn it off at some point because it's 5:30. So once it gets dark, I'm gonna get too scared to listen to it. I just know I am. So we're gonna have to turn it off at some point and maybe pick back up the Second Chance Cinema. But right now I'm taking a little bit of a break because I'm not having a good time. But yeah, just wanted to come in with that update real quick. But since I'm talking about reading this one and I'm 41% through it, let's talk. What's going on? I'm really confused about Lucy. She doesn't have any memories of the night that her friend was murdered, except for what people have told her, which is that she showed up at the hospital wearing her friend's blood. And now she just has this voice in her head that's like, every time she sees somebody, she's thinking about ways to kill them. Guys, it's freaking me out. What is wrong with her? Do we find out what's wrong with her? Is something actually wrong with her brain? Because I know that they said she had a traumatic brain injury from that night. So like, is that what's wrong with her? I'm so confused. Anyway, I think I'm gonna listen to some more of this while I play this game and then come back with an update later. I do have a few ideas of what happened to, what's her name? Savannah? I don't know. I do have a few ideas of what happened to her, but I don't know if any of them are right. So I guess I'll just continue reading and see what happens. Okay, so I'm on page 165 of this book, and I'm very conflicted on what is going on. I feel like I know who did it, but then I also feel like it might be too easy of an answer, so I don't think it's right. Yeah, I really don't know what's gonna happen next. I want to keep reading, but it's also kind of freaking me out a little. Probably gonna have to put this down for the night, finish it tomorrow, and I guess pick back up this one. I don't really want to. Think I want to DNF it, but I don't want to DNF another book. I'm tired of DNFing. Hopefully I can finish this one today because I'm tired of reading it, for being honest. So it is 6:15. So I'm going to eat dinner and we'll go from there. See what happens. So, okay, guys, it's Friday and I still have 3 whole books to read. Well, 3.5 because I'm halfway through this one. So my goal is to at least get through these 2 today, because I'm halfway through both of them. I still don't think I'm liking this one at all. Ellie is now hiding a huge secret from Drake that I think is going to destroy him if he finds out in some weird way. I'm supposed to believe that these two are engaged to be married, and I think they said 6 months, and that they've been together for a couple years, but it feels like they've known each other for 2 months. I'm very confused on this timeline and like them as a couple, I guess, because I'm just not feeling it. They're hiding everything from each other. They're lying. They don't know one another. They're like literally learning new things about each other all the time. I'm just not having a good time with this, and that makes me like really sad because the idea behind this book, so good. This could have been amazing, and I was hoping that it was amazing, but it's not. It's fallen flat so many times so far. I am only on page 168 out of 300. What is it? 305. My bad. So maybe it gets a little bit better, but I highly doubt it. At this point, I'm just reading it to get it over with. It's sitting somewhere between a 3, 2.5, 3, something like that currently. We'll see if it gets any better, but I'm not really expecting it to. It is 11:31 a.m. My goal is to try to get these 2 done today. And if I start another book, I start another book. But I only have 2 days left and 3.5 books to read. So we got to get going. Let's finish this one. Okay, I just finished the Second Chance Cinema. I don't really know. I think I'm gonna settle on a 3.25 stars for this book. It wasn't terrible. I just didn't really feel the actual connection between the 2 main characters, which is a huge problem in a book like this. I feel like I liked both Ellie and Drake, but I don't think I liked them together. And I also feel like they just weren't supposed to be together. They were hiding huge secrets from each other and keeping things and lying to each other. Like, that's just not what you do in a relationship, let alone a relationship where you're about to get married. I just feel like the two characters had a lot of growing up to do. I'm glad they finally got there at the end. They seem to have learned from their past mistakes and grew up a little bit, but I feel like that should be something you guys do before you get married. And I also feel like you should communicate with each other before you get married. Like, you should know things about each other's past, especially like the fact that Drake had proposed to somebody before. Ellie never knew that, you know, things like that. So they should talk. But 3.25 stars. Book 2 out of 6 is done for this video. I'm halfway through this one, so let's go ahead and finish this one now, and then we can move on to book number 4. I'm 175 pages into Listen for the Lie, and where's the plot going? It feels like the whole plot is supposed to be finding out if Lucy killed Savvy or not, but it feels like that's on the freaking back burner because now the whole town is just having sex with everybody, and that's what we're worried about. I thought I was signing up to read a murder mystery book, and apparently I'm reading a book about everybody cheating on everybody and having sex with the entire town. I'm really not loving this. I'm really not. I've been hearing amazing things about this and I was so excited for it, but it literally just feels like the author decided that she was just gonna write a adult book and put sex in it, and now everybody in the town is having sex with everybody else in the town and cheating on each other, and we like lost the whole plot of the story. Like, Lucy's parents were apparently having multiple different relationships the whole time they've been married, and they're still married, so who knows if they're still sleeping around with other people or not. And then the grandma's over here sleeping with all these other people, and Savvy's boyfriend slept with Lucy's mom the night Savvy died. Like, what in the actual hell is going on right now? Literally what is going on right now. I'm so sick of reading about people having sex with each other. I wanted a murder mystery book. I wanted something fun and fast paced. This is what the hell. I'm gonna give it to about 220. And if at 220 we're still only talking about people having sex with each other, I'm DNFing it. I just want to know if Lucy killed Savvy or not. That's literally the only reason I'm reading this book. I don't think she did. I think it was Lucy's ex-husband, if we're being completely honest. But I really hate reading this because it's literally like the whole premise of the book is on the back burner, and it's like, oh, who did so-and-so have sex with last month? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. We care about the murder mystery. That's why we're reading the book. I'm getting annoyed. Yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna give it to about page 220 and then probably DNF it if I can't get actual answers that I require and not more, oh, so-and-so had sex again, because I really don't care. I don't. Okay, I just finished Listen for the Lie by Amy Tantera. I actually finished the whole book, and I'm giving it 3.5 stars. So I feel like after I complained about it only being about, oh my god, this person had sex with this person, it kind of got a little bit more back into the plot, and then we figured things out. I will say the twist got me, not gonna lie. It did get me. Was not expecting that outcome at all. But I still feel like it was a lie. Like, I know the book ended and then like that was supposed to be the twist and like we figured it out, but I don't think we did. I think there's more to the story that's not being told. But what do I know? So 3.5 stars. I guess I'm glad I read it. I was just expecting it to be better than it was, I think. And I feel like I really would have liked it more if it was just more focused on the plot than the random everybody's having sex with everybody plot. Because it didn't even add anything to the story, you know? Anyway, today is Friday and this video is supposed to be over on Sunday. And so far we've read 3 books out of 6. So we have these 3 left. The only one I'm really super nervous about is Scythe because it's just so long. But I think I'm going to pick up Swear on This Life next because I think this is the shortest one out of these 3, so I can hopefully finish this today. That would be like 3 books in a day. I guess it would technically be 2 because I read 2 halves of 2 other books. You know what I mean. But I think this is going to be the next one I pick up because I'm just interested in this plot for some reason. So it's about Emmeline, who is a adjunct, I keep forgetting that word. She is an adjunct writing instructor, and she picks up this book from this debut author called J. Colby, and she's like, wait a minute, this book is telling the story of my life. What is happening? And she comes to find out J. Colby is none other than Jace, her childhood best friend. It just sounds like it's going to be very, very interesting, and it's about an author, and I've always wanted to be an author. Let's go read this book. So before I went to sleep last night, my plan was to just read a few pages of this, like until I fell asleep. So I'm halfway through this book, and I had to force myself to stop it so that I could go to sleep because it was 3 a.m. But so far, I think I'm liking it. So this is the story of Emmeline, who her roommate Kara or Kara, I still don't know how to pronounce that name because I've heard it pronounced both ways before. But her roommate comes home with this book and she's like, have you heard of this author before? This is his debut novel. Someone at work told me to read it, so I'm reading it, and oh my goodness, I can't put it down. And so she like spent the whole day in her room just reading and finishing that book, and then she gives it to Emmeline the next day to read. And from the first sentence, Emmeline was like, wait a minute, this is the story of my life. So that means that Jax in this book is my friend Jace, like my childhood friend Jace. And it's just like recounting the story of them. He wrote her entire life story from her point of view and is like making money off of it. So she's like upset and mad about that fact, but also at the same time, she's like, now I'm like reliving my life by reading this book, and she doesn't know how she feels about that. One thing that I think is interesting about this is like every other chapter seems like it's literally taking a chapter from the book that he wrote and you're just reading about it in here. So it's like the equivalent of reading flashbacks, but it's literally just like chapters from his book, which I think is cool, but also it's kind of, okay, that's kind of a cheap way to do it, I guess. I don't know. This is an interesting story so far, and I am liking it, but I feel like this is going to be one of those, you either connect with the characters right away and love this book, or you hate them. Like, I don't really feel like there's an in-between. And also, please check the trigger warnings before you read this, because I didn't know there was trigger warnings in here, but they do talk about death of a sibling and abuse. So like, oh, and alcoholism. So if any of those things trigger you, don't read this maybe. But so far I am liking it. I'm halfway through, so we still have 50% of the book to maybe change my mind. But yeah, this is also one of those books that you just start reading and you can't stop. You just like get so trapped in the story. Well, I mean, I guess if you like the characters, you do. It's what was happening to me. I just didn't want to put it down. So I could have totally finished this in one setting if it wasn't 3 a.m. when I was halfway through. So I think I'm just going to finish this book off here and come back when I have more thoughts or when I finish it. Okay, so I just finished Swear on This Life by Renee Carlino. I think I'm gonna settle on a 3-star for this one. So for a little bit of, like, I don't know, first maybe half, maybe a little under half, I was liking it, and then it just kind of switched to the second half of the book and it became something that I wasn't really interested in anymore. I don't really know how to describe it, but when I started reading this, so like the first 2 chapters, I was like, this is kind of a weird setup for a book. Like, it's literally taking the book that he wrote and just making chapters of that book be chapters of this actual book. And I was like, it's kind of different, something I've never read before, whatever. And then the more and more it went, the more and more I just didn't like it. At first, I kind of felt connected to the characters Emmeline and Jason, but like at the same time, I didn't. Does that make any sense? So in real life, Emmeline is in a relationship with Trevor, but they don't really seem like they're in a real relationship, if that makes any sense. It's just kind of more of a friendship, I guess, but apparently they've been together for 7 years. And And I just didn't like the way that relationship was portrayed, because especially toward the ending of the book, once Emmeline decides that she's going to go to Jason's like book signing about the book that he wrote, you can tell that she still loved him, but it was just kind of insta-lovey. So she complains in the book that like multiple times that Jason hasn't talked to her or contacted her in 12 years. And she's like still really hurt and upset about it because he was her best friend, you know, the first love of her life, everything like that. They don't talk for 12 years. She immediately sees him at his book signing 12 years later. And then she's suddenly like, all right, you're the love of my life again. Nothing's ever changed. Like, I haven't stopped loving you. No. Bro, you literally talked about how much therapy you had to go to because he broke your heart. And now you're suddenly just like, it's fine. I'm in love with you again, even though I have a boyfriend. But I'm not going to act on my feelings for you because I have a boyfriend. I just didn't like that. This was going to be a good book, and it sounded really good. And then once I got to halfway through, it felt like everything just fell apart. And I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. So I am probably just going to take this back to a little free library. Not a favorite of mine, and I'm really sad about it. But I think that this is going to be the end of this video. It is storming outside, but I don't have enough time to read these two books before the end of the day. It's already like 5:30 p.m. and I'm not going to be able to finish another one before the end of the day. So we did make it through 4 of my 6 books during my spring break, because unfortunately I have to go back to school tomorrow. But I think that's still pretty good progress. 4 books in a week, I think that's pretty good. So we did not have the best reading week ever, but I am glad that I knocked these 4 books off of my TBR. I am sad we didn't get to these last 2, but it's only the 15th of March, the day that I'm filming this outro. So hopefully I have time to get to these throughout the rest of this month. Anyway, hopefully you guys still enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts were on them. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully I will see you in my next one, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.